Hi guys, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Today I have a video that I've been working on pretty much since it happened, so almost for a year. This is the one that if you saw my vlog where I showed you that I was working on something that was going to be hard for me to say, this is the one, so welcome to it. I wasn't sure that after this incident happened exactly how to go about discussing it or expressing it, especially to you guys, in a way that would have a positive light to it, and that's what I usually like to give you guys because I like to give you energy to keep you going, and this was such a negative experience for me. But I feel like it's really important to share it because I noticed also on Tanya Burr's Draw My Life video that something very similar happened to her. And I'm sure that it's not the first time that it's happened. So I wanted to share this for my own self, but also to share with you guys. It can apply to any business, but especially to the budding YouTubers out there that always ask me questions and send me tweets and all those things about different things about how to run their channels. This is something that you might be very likely to come across, so I hope that this helps you. So the title of this video, I was fired for being a YouTuber, it's not exactly accurate because I wasn't fired, but I was rather forced to leave my job because I was given a choice of being a YouTuber or maintaining my position at the company. So I'm going to fill y'all in on the story of that. Obviously you can tell what my decision was because here I am, I'm still on YouTube. One, because I really want you guys to understand how much every single comment, every single thing that you do, your likes, your subscriptions, your tweets to me, they mean more than I can say because you guys didn't know this, but I literally chose you over the comfort of this job that I had. And so I want to express that to you, and I also want you to be able to understand when you're reading over your contracts and things of that nature that you have rights and what you can do about it. Alright, so let's get started. After the school that I helped to create closed down, which you can see more about that in this video here, I decided that it was really time to pursue my real dreams and to work at becoming a YouTuber, model, actor, and writer. So that I could afford to do that, I got a job at a tiny little country restaurant that I still love to this day because they have an honorable owner, one of the few that I've met, and I was working there. I was friends with James at the time, we weren't dating, and I got a call from him one day that said that somebody that he had been making videos for had a position open for a writer. I was thrilled at this because I thought, this is amazing. I'm going to be able to be practicing my writing skills and be paid for it, which is an amazing opportunity. So I went in, I met with them, and they liked me. I told them about my YouTube in the initial meeting, so they were definitely aware of that. It was for a online women's lifestyle magazine and various other small businesses that they had created around that. The magazine was about natural, healthy living, which was perfect for me because I was simply raised that way and I have a lot of that knowledge just in me from growing up, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. And it also involved, on top of writing, it involved social media work, which I have experience with, so it was perfect for me. I began working there alongside of James, and I wrote and did social media work. My writing was not able to be published under my own name because it was basically ghostwriting without them calling it ghostwriting. So that means that you write articles and you put somebody else's name on it. Because I was naive, I suppose, and because I'm a good person, and I thought that this was a project that we were all working on, so I wanted to help it get more attention. I very naively used my own YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, all sorts of social media platforms to promote this business. I'm glad that I didn't do this too much because, of course, if I had helped them a lot and then they screwed me over, I would feel extremely bad. But especially at the beginning, I used all of my abilities to help this business succeed. And James and I are very similar in that whatever we do, we're going to do with 100% of our passion, and we're extremely hard workers. So while we worked there, we gave our complete all. We gave them so much of our knowledge of social media, the YouTube world, Google, all sorts of things like that. Well, I think there's maybe only one college that gives a degree in social media. It takes a long time to learn this, and if you guys are YouTubers, you know. You gather this information over such a long period of time while you're on it, and you just observe things and you're learning all of this. And this is very valuable information. I actually got another friend of mine a job at the same magazine, and the three of us discussed how to improve this business at lunch, at dinner, while we were hanging out, constantly. We worked on this project constantly, almost as if it was our own. You might find, especially if you've worked at restaurants and lots of other businesses, a lot of people expect that they'll hire you and they'll pay you not very much, and that you will consider their project, which is their business, their magazine, their restaurant, or whatever it is, as your own project. Like, I work on my YouTube with an extreme amount of passion because it's mine, but a lot of people expect you to be putting in hours to their own business just if you work for them, as if it was yours. And that is what I did for this business, because that was what I thought would help it succeed, and that was what I thought was the best of my work. We used a ton of our own connections and a lot of things that we had worked on for our own YouTube businesses for this business. The owner of this business knew that James was an up-and-coming cinematographer. They knew that he had a daughter, and at the time we weren't dating, but they knew that he was trying to get into his first place by himself. I also discussed with the owner of the business that I had a very difficult family situation and that I was considering moving to California. They 100% assured me that my job was secure no matter where I went. They said that they absolutely loved what I did, that the business could not be where it was without me, and that I could do my job from wherever I moved. I'm not saying that anyone with any type of business is responsible for their employees' success or them being able to move into a new house or anything like that. But there are certain responsibilities that you have as an employer to take care of the people that work for you. Especially when these people are working their asses off 1000% for you, and you promise things to them that makes them think that working at that job and doing a great job is going to help them get to that next step in their life. You have a responsibility as a human being to just be honest. Even if you aren't ensuring job security to them, you have a responsibility to tell them this could be over in one day. And we were led to believe that we had these positions locked down. Like I said, I helped another friend get a job there. Though we weren't paid a very decent amount for the type of work that we were doing, we were assured that after certain amounts of time we were going to get certain raises. We are both going above and beyond the call of duty for this company, and I got the idea to start a magazine. I found out about a website called Glossy, which helps you create online magazines, and I thought that it would be a really amazing thing to make a magazine with a collaboration of all different talented people that I knew who didn't necessarily have platforms for it, but who could stand out in a magazine that combined all of them. I began to talk to my friends about all different projects that they could contribute, and one person that I very naively asked to contribute, and I'm sure that some of you guys are older and you've had more experience with horrible bosses and people who promise things and who don't actually mean what they say, you think that I'm an idiot for asking my boss to contribute to my magazine. One day at lunch, I proposed the idea to my boss, and I told her about how I was creating this and how I would love to have a video or an article from her in the magazine. As an example of what the magazine would contain, I told them how I wanted to have a sandwich competition with my friend Hannah. And looking back, I know that this is what set them off, because The magazine that I worked for, their content was a women's lifestyle magazine which focused a lot on nutrition, and that was a lot of what I wrote about: natural beauty and nutrition, which if you guys have followed me for any amount of time, you'll know that even in my vlogs, I just randomly talk about something that I'm eating, something that I'm making, and I've made a lot of videos for you guys about natural beauty and nutrition. The fact that I was offering to help improve their business by including her article in my magazine was apparently completely lost, and it was interpreted as an attempt to compete with what I was being paid to do at this company. I believe it was the next day, but within the week, James and I were both presented with some forms that were sort of presented as, oh, we kind of forgot to get you guys to sign these at the beginning, and it's no big deal, it's just sort of like what we signed when we started working there. We took these home and we decided to look it over extremely carefully, and what we found was that it was a non-compete agreement, which in this agreement it meant a few things, but the most important thing was that you would not be able to produce anything in the realm, and it had the wording Women's Lifestyle Magazine. So if you think of all sorts of things that are on my channel, even if you're a guy and you watch it, a lot of it is something that could be included in a women's lifestyle magazine, whether it's a recipe or a hair tip or something about my own life. These are all things that could be encompassed by the umbrella of Women's Lifestyle Magazine. And the second important flag that we saw was that it said you cannot work with anyone who had worked with the company while you worked at the company and for 2 years after that. So that would mean that James and I were not allowed to work together. Obviously, he and I constantly work together and we make a great team. And that's not something that we could really sacrifice. These two issues gave us huge red flags. We were actually traveling all over the country for this company. When we eventually discussed the contract with our bosses, we were supposed to leave that very weekend for another trip. We discussed it in the office. I found it hard to believe that they actually meant what it said in this contract, because I thought it was something they had sort of just printed off or gotten sort of a generic contract. So throughout the discussion, I asked, so what do you specifically mean? And I finally nailed down, so if I make a video about a healthy recipe, would I be allowed to do that with signing this contract? And they said no. I started to see that there was absolutely no way that I was going to be able to sign this, because I've worked extremely hard on my YouTube and on the things that I made, and also on my future plans for what I was going to do. That very day, upon discussing the contract, I told them I could not sign it, and that basically meant that my job ended that day. We would be happy to give you a glowing recommendation letter, and please never work for us again. As I left there, I actually felt extremely liberated, because I felt like the people that I had just stopped working for were in such cages of rules and laws, and that I was completely free, because I was able to say, no, I don't want to do this. It's not worth it, because my freedom is worth so much more. During the time that I was working for this company, my YouTube definitely lapsed. And if you look at my channel, you will see that there is a period of time when I hardly had any uploads. And that's because I was on the computer constantly while I was at work, and so I kind of let it lapse a little bit while I was focusing on that. Once I finished with them, I had a renewed passion for my YouTube, because I completely understood how much it meant to me, because the fact that I would leave the comfort of a job, which I needed, to preserve my freedom of what I was going to create, meant a huge deal to me. I was actually shocked to watch Tanya Burr's Draw My Life video and see that she had started working for a makeup company after she became a beauty YouTuber. And once they found out about her YouTube channel, she actually was forced to leave as well. So that's pretty much it for the short version of this story. So what I wanted you guys to learn from this is that no matter who you work for, but especially if you're an artist, a freelancer or a YouTuber, you need to always know your rights. If anybody asks you to sign a contract anywhere, they always are legally obligated to give you enough time to take it to a lawyer and get it looked over with them. And that also means if you can't afford a lawyer, you can take it home and look it over yourself like we did. If they say no, that you can't do this, that would be an immediate red flag, and it would actually save you a lot of time finding out later that the people that you work for are scumbags. Know the value of what you have. I'm not sure entirely why this entire thing happened, but I know that the work that I did was very high quality. So don't ever think that the value of your work is not what it really is. It also turned out that after I left the company, it took them several months to get the recommendation letter for me. So you can imagine that as soon as you leave, you want to be applying for other jobs, and you'd like to have a confident recommendation from your last job, but I did not have that. I received $150 in severance. They also wanted me to essentially train my friend who had been working with us with all of the information that I had been using throughout that time, and they wanted me to do it for free. After James left the company as well, he received a message that they would like for him basically to tell them how he did his job. Don't give away your power and your knowledge for free. It might be smaller than the owner of the company that you work for, but it's not nothing. I found out from my friend who was working for them for a longer time that she was actually fired 1 week before Christmas when she wanted to discuss the idea of a raise. She was fired immediately with no notice and no severance. I really hope that this video can help even one of you guys who might face a similar situation to this. And I hope that it helps you understand how much I truly love being a part of your community and how much every single one of your interactions just fills me with inspiration, because I made this choice to leave the comfort of what I knew in order to continue doing my YouTube and have the freedom to do that and to interact with you guys. So I'm extremely grateful that I'm sitting here talking to you guys right now, because if I had signed that contract foolishly or with knowing what it meant, I wouldn't be able to be sitting here right now. Thank you so much for being here as part of my journey, and thank you for watching this. And I hope that you guys are just having the very best week, and I can't wait to hear from you. Please make sure that you check out the info box below and see if there are any places that you aren't following me, because likely enough, if you like my videos, you'd also like to see my tweets or my photos or my Tumblr posts. So thank you so much again. I feel like I've said thank you like 50 million times, but I really am so grateful for you guys, and I love you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye!